Step right up, let's take the dive. Crypto world is coming alive. From XRP to the blockchain beat. Join the crew, we're pioneers meet. Got builders, dreamers, paving the way. Multichain vibes, we're here to stay. Wanna know? Don't wait, let's go. Dip a toe, join the Web3 flow. Take a step, explore the scene. Dip a toe, show, living the dream. From the ledger to the stars we climb. Crypto's future, it's our time. Dip a toe, yeah, take that chance. Join the vibe, let's crypto dance. Let's crypto dance. Faces of crypto, stories we share. Early adopters, they're everywhere. From XRPL to the Web3 wave. Bold moves, only we're here to pave. Melissa and Simon, they light the way. Every week it's a crypto play. Wanna know? Don't wait, let's go. Dip a toe, join the Web3 flow. Take a step, explore the scene. Dip a toe, show, living the dream. From the ledger to the stars we climb. Crypto's future, it's our time. Dip a toe, yeah, take that chance. Join the vibe, let's crypto dance. Let's crypto dance. No advice, just a spark to ignite. Do your research, keep your vision tight. Community strong, we're building the way. Dip a toe show, here to stay. Take a step, explore the scene. Dip a toe show, living the dream. From the ledger to the stars we climb. Crypto's future, it's our time. Dip a toe, yeah, take that chance. Join the vibe, let's crypto dance. So take a chance, don't be shy. Crypto's calling, we're reaching the sky. Join the movement, come take a look. Web3's rising, the world's been shook. Ooh.
The world's been shook. Ooh.
Oh,
How you doing, Simon?
you know. Hey, all
I've
things
been
considered,
better.
I'm doing good. All things considered, I'm doing good. So great to be
Very
here on a hump day. We ain't
I'm
humping
very
today,
glad.
though, but we're here.
Humpity,
on
humpity, humpity, humpity,
no,
humpity.
no humpty hump for this guy. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Are you
I'm
caught?
super excited.
Are you caught up?
No.
No,
No,
you're not caught
I'm
up.
not.
You're
I'm
not
not
caught up
caught
in sleep.
up. I'm not
Yeah.
caught up. Yeah, no,
All right.
I'm not caught up. You know, the whole XRP Las Vegas trip and all that activity. I'm not getting any younger, Simon. So, this song is so fire. Thank you,
It
Mr.
is.
Sam.
Mr. Sam, what's up, brother?
Mm.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Wait till our Dip a Toe NFTs come out with the songs, huh?
Do it. Put it on the
It's gonna
t-shirt.
be
I
fun.
want the t-shirt. By the way, I loved your t-shirt. I really want to I really love that. I saw pictures of you that you posted on X, and I was checking out the merch, and I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, that's looking good. I like it. I really
buy
do.
that.
Yeah.
I've got all
I
kinds
was like, man,
I
hey,
tell
do
you
you
guys,
got the
keep it-
small because I give it to the lady.
I'm telling you what, I have so many ideas and things in the work for a Dip a Toe show, merch, and all of that stuff. A lot of designs, and just not ready to run with it quite yet. But I'm excited when we're ready to go. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, William says t-shirts. What? Let's go. Yeah,
I know. Wait till we get the boxer briefs out, man. Wait till we get the boxer briefs.
I'm telling you. Well, I want to welcome the 22 of you that are in here. Welcome to the Dip a Toe show. If you are watching, please be sure that you're subscribed to our channel. We are streaming live on X, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, IMUTV.tv, the best premier place to watch all things in 50 countries. Super excited to be one of the first content education, crypto education content creators on IMU TV. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
I didn't say that. I play that back slowly and then try to say it 5 times fast.
Getting tongue tied. I do want to say hello. Our number one guy today was XR Papa. Hope everyone is well.
I know. Way to go, Papa. You beat the days. Congratulations. That's a hard thing to do in this world.
We're gonna talk about a little paradise, Papa, and I hope that you're gonna be able to join us this year in Cancun. I'm super excited. We love you, Silver Days. The man, he always is here. Like, share, and subscribe, everyone. It's awesome if you do. Who we got? Sing for Jesus says, "Hey, Dipper fam, finally here early. Not going to church tonight." Uh-oh, you're not going to church tonight. What's up with that?
Well, she's converting to the XRPL. She's converting to the XRPL.
We got Gone Rogue, Susan.
We're gonna give her that. Oh, Gone Rogue. I love Gone Rogue. Susan, love you. Gone Rogue. Oh, I gotta put some on. It's been a minute, but it's not this brew. Love you, Miss Keita.
Keita'sBrew.com. Be there, be square. It's great. DCA Dave is in the house. Of course, I said we've got William and 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. This is you guys. It's going to be such a great show. Oh, Miss Vincent is in the house. How are you, Miss Vincent? I miss you. Haven't talked to her in a long time. It seems like. And who else? And of course, Sholo himself is in the house. You know what?
I saw my better half. Is she in here?
You know your better half is. I'm going to say this is a show that I've been super excited about. Tonight, we're joined by a true veteran of the payments revolution, Farhan Dawood, founder of CEO and CEO of FriiWorld, with over 2 decades pioneering electronic card payments and POS innovation in the UK. Farhan took his deep retail payments and loyalty expertise and fused it in with the XRP Ledger to create one of the most practical Web3 payment platforms on the market today. From enabling prepaid top-ups at thousands of UK merchants to now powering crypto at the counter via Zaman wallets and the XRP Ledger, Farhan has been at the forefront of connecting traditional retail with blockchain. And joining him, we have the visionary who's bringing the entire XRP Ledger community to paradise. Santiago, aka Sholo, creator of the first annual XRP Ledger Cancun 2026 and founder of the Sholo Project. He's drawing inspiration from the ancient Mexican legendary Guide of Souls. Santiago has built Sholo as a bridge between Web3 and unforgettable real-world experiences. From XRPL-powered NFTs and travel utility to the massive beachfront gathering at Grand Oasis Cancun this August, he's turning blockchain into something you can feel, taste, and celebrate together. So without further ado, let's bring these guys in. Gentlemen, welcome to the Dip a Toe Show.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're really happy about this.
Well, you're welcome. Farhan, I am so excited to have you on. We're going to just dive right in because this 2 hours is going to go by super fast. And we're going to dive into the specific offerings and how FreePay powers the event, the XRPL Cancun event a bit later. But please tell us a little bit more about FriiWorld, the story behind it, and how your Ripple and XRP Ledger relationship evolved.
So, yeah, we're going back some time now. I'm getting old. So, yeah, a couple of decades ago, some of us that are older in this room, Santiago's younger. He may not remember this, but there used to be a world where we would pay with cash and there was no card, right? That's how the world operated. And then one day Visa or MasterCard arrived and all of a sudden we had to move from this piece of paper to a piece of plastic. And I was lucky to be part of the first dev team that put that first Visa electronic solution into the market. In fact, we
Wow.
pretty much did the first ever Visa chip and pin transaction in the UK. So, our history goes right back. So it's a great story, actually. When we first got approval, we were all sitting in a room, all the banks waiting for Visa to approve. And once they approved, the banks all went back to the bank to do all the paperwork before they could resell. I went straight to the retailer and plugged it in, because obviously I was a small company and an independent. So I only beat them because time, no other reason. But yeah, it was a great beginning and a great learning for me. This whole new world of electronic payments, that we see today, that we take for granted today, it wasn't there 20 years ago. We had to build that from the first retailer all the way to the 50 million retailers that you have now. There was no web payments. I mean, there was no web, when this started. I mean, this is right at the beginning of the internet.
Back in the day, we were doing the paper stuff over top of the credit cards.
101%. Yeah, and that's the reason there was so much fraud on that zip-zap machine that's why the electronic had to come. So really, that's the history that we fell in love with payments, and it was a great time, to see payment, the way payments exploded. For 2 or 3 years, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, one day, everyone decided, that's it, we're going to use our cards now, and we haven't looked back since now. And if you see the amount of volume of transactions, I mean, cash is still big, but card payments now, electronic payments now, they rule our lives, and as I've seen this innovation to go from, we used to do it over we used to call it, the technical term is a PSTN line, which is basically a regular telephone line. So a transaction would take us like 25 seconds to do. So you'd be sitting there in the queue for 25 seconds before your transaction would work. So we've been all the way from there, all the way through, the internet, through contactless, numerous different card schemes, Amex, different ways of security. But the good news is that, that evolution has taught me exactly how that space operates, all the component pieces of it, all the way from, how the box works to the features on the box, how it sends transactions, how we do security. And then I've taken all of that and applied that to connecting everyone to Web3. That's the vision, really, is that we should have everyone connected to Web3. You should use Web3 just like you use regular money, regular fiat money. And that's not going to happen unless we're connected to those retailers. So, or the blockchain's connected to those retailers. So that's the problem that we've solved. And for me, one of the moments in my life where I knew that this had to be done was when Crypto.com brought their first Visa card out. And I took that to one of our retailers and I swiped it. We waited 30 days to see how much it would cost. And 30 days later, 4% came as a bill to switch that card. The merchant, he runs at 5%. So at that moment, the card schemes were making more money than the merchant selling the product. And at that point, I thought, this is never going to work, right? This cannot be our future. Digital cannot be making our lives better if all of a sudden now you're making more money than I am in my business. So that was when I decided that we needed to go off on our own, and we couldn't use incumbents, to process our transactions, and we had to grow up and do it ourselves. And that's really when me and my CTO sat down and said, okay, right, we need to solve this. How do we solve this? And really that's when we found the XRPL. This is where we found Ripple, and an infrastructure that was built for payments that wasn't actually using payments at this point. That seemed like a perfect fit. So I struggled away to get to Ripple, get their attention. And once we got their attention, I've never looked back since. But really now, the last couple of years, regulation has been the one, unless we are allowed to use the money, that these are things that are important in our journey. And over the last 6 months, I just feel now governments, banks, everybody is getting behind stable coins now. It's the first time we're getting a bit of clarity. America's coming out with some crypto-friendly laws now, hopefully. And so I see this beginning where the technology that we had and the ability to do what we've done is now ready to shine and now ready to go forward. And, I cannot thank, Santiago enough for believing in me and believing in me enough to say, for the XRPL Cancun event, we're just going to remove Visa or MasterCard. We don't need them anymore. Let's just grow up and do it all ourselves, and I think that's the catalyst that we needed, because now people believe. Before it was just a story. Now it's live. Now it's real. Now there's no going back.
Man, it's fantastic. One of the things that you mentioned that popped in my head of how long it took, and that it seemed like it was overnight. Everybody was using your technology, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of like a flip of the switch moment. We all hear that flip of the switch, flip the switch, flip the switch, and it's kind of something that happens over time, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and everyone's.
But this is a real phenomenon. This is twice I felt it, with the mobile networks and together with Visa or MasterCard. That switch turns on. I don't know what happens, but the first time Visa turned on, we were actually processing the transactions through our network. So our servers just started. Explain, we have some hackers or something's going wrong, and it wasn't. It was just merchants consumers beginning to use it, or merchants going. Actually, TravelX at the airport was one of our first customers. And so the airports have international traffic.
Oh, wow.
They just, all of a sudden, they just turned those devices on, and the transactions were just going through the roof. I mean, I was scared. I thought that something had gone wrong, but that was just what life was. That's what life was going to be for the next 10 years. So,
man, I mean, it actually had to feel so like vindicating, exciting, exhilarating. How do you use like satisfying for something that you like, you're at the forefront of this happening, and then to see your baby just explode must have just been amazing.
It's so rewarding. It's so tough, to be a founder and to have a belief in something that nobody else can see, but only you can see. And then you just dig away in the, nighttime when no one's looking at you. And then you're right, Melissa, one day when it hits and when it works, like the hair stand up at the back of my neck. It's one of those things that, it's undescribable. But that's the feeling now that we have to bring, because this time it's all of us. It's not about me anymore. It's about us. It's about our community, about our future, about our children. And that is even more exciting now, because now all of our hairs are going to stand up at the back of our neck.
I got chills.
That's the way that we need to operate.
Before we get to Santiago, I want to ask you, I was instructed to ask you this question. How many times did you hang out in Ripple's area there?
You've been speaking to Stone, I think.
Yeah. Stone said, ask him how many times
Melissa,
waited.
I don't have patience, right? I'm one of those that if I need to do something, I got to just do it, right? We just got to do it. We got to not talk about it. And I kept emailing them and I kept ringing them, and I could see this vision. I could see what was coming, and they wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't have that conversation. And then, so one day I got annoyed and I said, right, that's it. I'm not sending them any more emails. I'm not going to, call them anymore. I'm just going to go to the office and I'm going to sit in reception until somebody sees me. So the first time I went, obviously nobody's going to see you. Nobody knows that you're coming, but I made enough noise and I said, right, I'm going to come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day until somebody sees me. And then she said, okay, when you come tomorrow, I'll have somebody that will come and see you. And the second time, yes, a young man called Addy, who's still my friend, who works in the stablecoin team even till today. I just saw him after many years in Paris. And, he was the first one that really saw that passion, and he could see that at some point this was going to happen. But he was one of those realists that right here, right now, that's not going to happen. But this is the logical steps that you have to go through and start this process, and you'll come out the other side. So, yeah, it was one of those things that I was going to sit there every day for how long it took for them to see me.
You know what I see, Farhan? I see a movie. I see a movie made about your life in FriiWorld.
It's about oil, Melissa, honestly.
I know, but I see it. I see it already. It just came to me when you were telling your story. I'm like, yep, I see this movie being made for sure.
No, we can't wait for people. No one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. Okay, that's the reality, right? I have to save myself, and whilst I'm saving myself, if I can bring a community that saves everyone doing the same thing that I'm going to do for myself, then that's even better, right? But that's what we have to do now, because no one's coming. No one's going to knock on that door.
Ah, gosh, I love that. I love that
100%.
so much. Oh, I want to get to Santiago. Welcome. And first, I want to say how honored Dipitosho are to be part of this fantastic event. And we're going to talk a little bit more specifics about the event later in the show. But I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and the story behind your Sholo project, and then just how you even came up with this XRPL Cancun event.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for having me here again. So excited as always. And thank you for being part also of the XRPL Cancun. I mean, myself, I actually studied business management, so I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer, as many will thought, as you know, when you create a token, or you are in Web3. But you know, there are so much opportunity in here. There are so much things and so many ideas that can be developed in here. And for me, I'm a Mexican. I live in Cancun, and the Xolo is Quinkly. It's a really a dog that in Mexico we really love. We do feel it like a sacred dog, because it's been 3,000 years since the Xolo Quinkly exists, you know, and it's always been so a dog that, as any dog basically, but you know, a lot of loyalty, unwavering loyalty, as any dog. And two, the Cholet Squinklet does not have any hair, but the skin is said to be warmth, so it gives love. It gives you that feeling of warmth, you know, that it is with you. And of course, also it is a legend that the Aztecs said that the Xolo comes from the Xolotl, the god of transformation, fire, and guide, because when you died, you have to go to the afterlife to Mictlan, and you have to cross 9 rivers. Those 9 rivers were dangerous, were a lot of problems, but if you own a Xolo, the Xolo will take you to Mictlan safely. So for the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Maya, the Incas, they also think that if you own a Xolo, he will guide you to the afterlife. So for me, it was basically, you know, this is a perfect guide for you to take you to your vacations, to take you anywhere in the world. He's a guide in the afterlife, and right now he could be your guide. And getting into the Web3, into XRP Ledger, you know, is taking all of these elements that brings you as a bridge from Web 2 to Web 3, as Charlotte bring you to afterlife, to the new life. You know, it works perfectly. It is just perfect. And you know, since I live in Cancun, I got married in Cancun, and all the work to get married in here, you know, you have to go to the hotel to to create all the party, to bring all the people. I mean, it's the same of creating an event, you know, of bringing other people to come in here. And I saw just an amazing opportunity to bring a lot of people in here, because Cancun is a paradise, and we have so much things in here, so many resorts that they give you the all inclusive part, that it is not all around the world, you know, that you have all meals, on drinks, everything, all entertainment included. We have it in here. So what other event is there around XRPL that give you that? So I was like, man, this is the opportunity. We have to do this. This will be the future. We have to get all the community in here. And I'm so grateful about Free World, Farhan, to come aboard in here. I mean, to step in and say, you know, we have to do this. We have to get it in, because for me and my vision, and I know Farhan has the same one, this event is going to be something special that everyone is going to love. And we're going to continue every single year to do it. And Sholo is going to guide you through it all. And we're going to get you safely and have the best time of it all. So that's basically it.
I love
I
it. I
love
love it.
Yeah, you actually, you're a travel agent as well, right? So
Yes.
we can book our travel through you as well, and that is it's very exciting. Also, you want to talk about that for a half a second?
Yes, for sure. The idea is that Sholo is your guide for any travel, and Sholo is going to be your travel agent. Right now, as it's all human, it's all base, and if you want to go to Paris, to uh, United States, to South America, wherever you want to go, if you need your hotel, your airplane, your tours, your rental car, whatever you need, Sholo can get you. But the future, as you can see, it's evolving and everything is becoming into Web3. It's becoming more and more and more AI. And that's the idea, that Sholo will become your guide as your travel agent, your NFA, your no fundable agent that will get you anywhere around the world and will bring you to whatever part in the world you will need. So that is basically what Sholo is bringing to the table to right now and into the future. That will be something also really, really huge too for Web3.
And how blessed are we to have this as an ambassador for our first event, huh? Cholo, we honestly, the way that you conduct yourself and the way that you come across, that's exactly the type of person that we need flying that first flag. So, thank you.
No, thank you, thank you. I'm really honored about it, and I do see so much potential in all of this ecosystem, in all the XRPL. Not about so many opportunities, that so many things can be done in here, and I really thank you, Farhan, because you are part of all of this, and you're giving us that next step that we need to do it. Because of course you are ready for Sholo, and Sholo needs to be ready for you. So we still need to get a couple of steps over there to continue for the future for Sholo. But of course,
No,
I do
we'll
know
do it together.
all the things
We'll
that
do
we're
it as a
gonna,
team.
yeah. I know all the things that we're going to continue to do, and I'm really excited about that. So
I'm actually excited about the event next year because I always see that the first event is one that you have to just get done, but you learn so much from the first event, and the second event is just like, whoa, what just happened, right? So yeah, this is not going to stop. This Cancun is going to be an every year destination, and one that we need to make. This is where we put our stake in the ground and said, you know what, we're going to do things differently now.
for sure. And you know what?
You're going to be
This is
famous,
the first
Santiago.
one. Yeah, I'm gonna be it, but we are all going to be, because the XRPL Cancun is also being done by the community. So there are a lot of parts, like Dipato is already part of this. FreePay is already part of this. So it's not only Sholo, but I do believe that this is the first year, and I'm so confident that when people arrive to Cancun and see everything that is in here, they will just drop their
There's no
jaw,
going back.
like
I've been many
they will
times,
love it.
so I know what's coming. Yeah, it's
and
it's
2027 will be even greater,
Yeah.
so much greater. But 2026 is gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's history.
I'm so
We're
confident.
making history.
Yes.
The people that come this year will be part of history. I cannot stress that enough. Everyone, just please make that effort to come this year, because in years to come, you'll be part of history.
Yes, we are building legacy, and that's amazing. And as Sholo has been 3,000 years ago as part of the culture, in Web3 is gonna be forever. So Sholo and all of this building is continue to be, to 2100. I don't know, but it will continue to do.
And we've always seen in history, technology always wins, right? We're not going to go back to riding a horse when we have a car. We're not going to go back to slow internet when we got. So Web3 is inevitable, right? The technology is better. Everything is better. So, we've just got to get moving now. And sometimes it feels like it's taking forever. But, this is just a little moment in history that we won't even remember in the years to come. But, this technology is better. There is no disputing that. So anything that's better just needs a bit of time. But this is not going away. There is no going back to, the old way of doing things. Not in my world, anyway.
No, listen to the man who spent 20 years and saw this happen, where it was mass adoption of using the POS systems, and that it's like overnight. It seems like, but it was over time, and those of us that have been in this space for a while, it seems like it's taking forever, but it's really not. And then one day the rest of the world's going to wake up and this is just how things are going to be. That's that the whole flip of the switch moment. And this XRPL Cancun event, the first annual, you are definitely going to want to be part of this first one. It's a historical event. Even just because of where it's at and who's planning it, but also purchasing it with FriiWorld. With FreePay.
I mean, you did that, Melissa. I mean, how easy was that, right? It was nothing to it.
Listen, it was so quick and easy. I was so excited when I did it. I was like, oh, I don't want to spend my XRP. But guess what, guys? If you want to be part of moving this ecosystem forward, buy the XRP and then purchase your ticket with it. Because it just if only to experience it, right? If you're already in the crypto space, you know how to buy XRP anyway. Purchase XRP. You don't have to use your crypto bags, but you got the money, purchase it, and then buy your ticket with the FreePay because it just to experience it, how quick and easy it was. I got little email all the way through. It was great.
And not only that, Melissa, if you are an XRP holder, utility for XRP is what's going to grow that ecosystem, right? If no one uses XRP, but we all sit there holding a bag and expecting the bag to go to the moon, because the banks are going to start using, or, come on, this is not reality. Reality is that we have to start creating, reasons for people to use the XRP as gas fees, as payment fees. And the more we do that, the more people need it, the more people that need it, the more it's going to be used. And that effect is what gets us to where we want to get to. So it's counterproductive to say, I'm just going to hold this bag and it's going to go to the moon, but we're going to do nothing with it. That's just not reality. Reality is we all have to use it. We have to make it part of our day-to-day lives. And if we can do that, then naturally it's going to grow.
And you don't want to, that's what happened with Bitcoin, really. If I'm being honest, most people, if you hold Bitcoin, you're not spending Bitcoin. You don't want to spend it. It's a store of value, right? And so the potential could happen to any one of these cryptos that we hold. If you don't use it, we want it to
and XRP right now is being, it's being positioned as that, as that token in the middle. And there are very few that are being positioned that way. So we are very fortunate that we have one that's being positioned in that way. So we already have a start, right? Nobody's positioning Bitcoin like that, but XRP is being. Now, if we don't use it like that, then it's our fault, right?
Let's talk about this for a second. I definitely want to get into FriiWorld and all of your products and things like that. But you're bringing up a good point, and I'm kind of the opinion, where Ripple, their main objectives has been the global finance, B2B, all of this, right? Their intent wasn't retail in terms of their focus hasn't been on retail. Okay. In my opinion, I wonder where you see, I see you as someone that facilitates this retail side of things. And like you say, we need to start using it and start greasing those wheels. Where do you see yourself as a player in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a process, right? So for Ripple, I've been with them now, or working with them for now 5+ years now. I can see that they have to go through their own journey to get to retail. If you first was the regular, the SEC just put a big cloud over their head, and you can't do anything retail when you've got the SEC looking at you and you haven't got regulation with you, right? So the first bit was to get over the regulation. The second bit, David Schwartz says it a few times, if you don't connect the banks and you don't connect those big players, they don't allow it to get to retail. It's one of those things that has to be ticked before retail can actually be born. So I think that they've actually done a great job in solving those first two, bringing some clarity with regulation, getting the bigger guys to start accepting XRP as something that they could use in the future and plugging those in, and just setting the stage for us now. But, you know, I think the last piece of this puzzle now, we have to build things for ourselves. We have to promote them ourselves, use them ourselves. They've given us the ability to do that. We have the XRP Ledger. We have technology that we didn't have. We have Panos and Anados, they're a bank. You couldn't have been a bank 5 years ago. We're a bank now, you know. So there are just things that we're able to do, but they are in our control. You know, we are the storytellers of our story, right? Ripple is not going to do that for us. Nobody else is going to do that for us. So, you know, now we're all set up. The infrastructure is there, the foundation is there, and now we have to create events like we're doing with Santiago and just start this mission, this island that is, you know, that is Web3 XRPL for us.
Ferran, I actually have a question there. You just sparked something in my mind, something that was around in that time where we just used cash for payments back in the day. And if you remember, I don't know about over in the UK, but I know here in the States, having a local bank was very, very, very common, very common. Absolutely. And what you're talking about there, that we have to build it. And you mentioned the other two, that they're their own bank. And it's like, yeah, I could see to where that could be a thing, only it'd be 2.0 on Web3, arguably, to where, do you see that, you know, being a common thing?
I see all of that coming.
Where you're going to have your local digital Web3 bank.
Yeah, I think that we have to transition into Web3 and start to embrace everything that Web3 has to offer. And it's going to be a transition. Okay. You know, like we transitioned from cash. I did the odd card transaction, but I was still 90% cash. And then slowly I went 10% cash and 90% card. You know, it's a balance. And for different people, you know, Web3 will bring different things. You know, I see a younger generation finding a real home in Web3, and I can see some of 100%. The older generation still sticking to, well, this card works, or there's people that I still like cash, right? Doesn't matter how much you tell them, you know, a Visa card, I still like cash. So I think it's a mixed bag across, and we both need to live with each other. And I think that you'll have a foot in this camp and a foot in that camp. How much time you spend in those camps will be dependent. But yeah, I see a whole new world that replicates everything that exists today, but replicates it with us in mind, right? And if you look at our website, it's people in mind. We've never been the person that the focus has been on. It's always been focused on a bank or a government, or there's always somebody else that's before
big institution.
Us, you know, and now there isn't anyone before us. It is only us. And together, you know, one of the things that I champion a lot, I say this a lot, I believe this a lot, you know, fundamentally, that whenever we discuss which is the strongest currency, you know, people debate, is it the dollar, you know, is it gold, is it Bitcoin? I don't believe any of those are the strongest currencies. For me, the strongest currency is community going forward. Yep. If we decide to operate in a way that betters us, there is nothing that you can do that's going to move me. You're never going to be able to say to me, this is better for you, but do this thing that's not better for you, right? So that's the way I see it. Community is the most powerful currency going forward. And what we need to do here is create this community so that we all play this game together. And that's really what my vision is, that we all stand together, we all stand strong, and you cannot break us then, right? You can't come in and divide us. You can't come in with a set of rules that are not for us or half for us, because we're not interested in that anymore. Yeah. We're only interested in doing things that are better for us. And everybody has to just watch.
You know, there's a interesting book that I mentioned on the show. And within this book, Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash, for those that don't know the book I'm referencing. In that book, Nelson talks about a community in the South that flourished. Their community was so prosperous because they were a community. All the money that was in there turned over hundreds, if not thousands of times. For those that know what I'm talking about, it changed hands thousands of times, right? How much a $100 bill goes to a town? Well, how much value is actually from that $100? Well, if it passes 10 people, that's worth $1,000 of goods and services,
Absolutely.
etc. And so what you're saying there is so true on a very deep historical level. History has shown that when a community comes together, we're doing business with each other in this community. And if you're from the outside and say, this is what we do, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I need XRP for this barrel of oil, or you ain't getting it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
go
and then no one can stop it. Yeah. And
Right.
then once you've got to that stage where it's moving and everyone's committed, then it doesn't stop, right? And that's when you start
Right.
getting these snowball effects, because then you will tell one person, they'll tell another person, and then very quickly that community just grows. And the more it grows, I mean, look, right now, sometimes I go in, you know, I've said it a few times as a joke, you know, I'm 5'9", 5'10", you know, 130, 40 pounds, but I go in like a bulldozer, right? And that's just me on my own. Imagine when we have 5,000 of us, 50,000 of us, 5
Sure.
million of us. Then when we go in, you know, we go in with a whole nother, you know, we're a superpower now, right? Whether you like it or not, you know, we're a country now, right? So that's where we've got to get to. And then things change.
I love that. I love that.
I love it. You know, as you gentlemen were talking, first thing that popped in my head was Wandering Footprint, Optimistic Prime's Wandering Footprint project, because it's exactly what you were just talking about, Simon. It's that community and doing commerce with one another, and making those connections and keeping that money within that community. And that, I mean, that is pretty much, that's it. I mean, and
we have such a great, you know, between the XRP community, the XRPL community, you know, we actually have a very low community that is open now for the XRP, XRPL, you know, ecosystem to be part of their lives, right? There are others that dip into things to make money. They don't really believe in the ethos of that of that space. But I feel, as I've looked at others, because I've been to the Solana environments, I've been to the Bitcoin environments. I mean, you know, they're all different. But this one, I feel like, you know, we have enough crazies that really want us to be out. And we're going to need those crazies, right? This is not going to be done by sane people, right? We're going to have to be a little bit, you know, a little bit out there, you know, to be able to do what we do. I mean, Santiago probably thought I was crazy the first time he met me when I said, say no to Visa or MasterCard, you know, just say no to them. Like, who the hell is this guy telling me to say no? No. You know, but we had to be that little bit. He had to be a little bit crazy to get to where we got to, right? But luckily he is. So
that's hilarious. Same people being your friends or family that you've talked to about crypto, and they still aren't like, it's like, all right, well, you're a sane person, so never mind.
Absolutely. How boring is that?
Don't get me started. I'm only here for another 20 something minutes. But let's say you were going to go into a little bit about Free a little bit.
Yeah. So let's talk about FriiWorld. I don't know how you want to start it out with, if you want to talk about just you have a bunch of products.
So let's just start with, okay, so we through the history, we've worked out now that we need to have our own payment mechanism, right? So that's where I'm at now with Ripple now. You know, I go through their process. We get a grant. They put us through the accelerator program. We get to grips with the XRPL. You know, the Zaman team was great. You know, Vitsa is a legend in that space. So luckily to have somebody like that as a mentor in those early days. And so now in 2023, you know, we solve the problem of payment. But like I said, without regulation, we're not going anywhere. We're not allowed to deploy it anywhere. So we take a step back and think, okay, payment, the job of sending money from one person to another person has been solved, but the transaction didn't get that much better for the consumer. Yes, the merchant maybe got the money quicker because he's not waiting 7 days for Visa to give him the money, because Santiago, as soon as you pay for the ticket, you know, it arrives in Santiago. It's not coming to Free and then me holding it for 7 days and then giving it to Santiago. You know, that world is yesterday's world. Today's world is money should go directly from Melissa to Santiago because you just bought a ticket, right? Why should there be someone in the middle? So yes, that's an advantage, but really we wanted, how could the transaction be better? And one of the things that I've been studying a lot was loyalty. And I've seen that loyalty, you know, getting points or getting coupons and these things have become sometimes they just feel like that they're just making you feel like you're getting something, but they don't actually want to give you anything. And that, cat is out of the bag now. And I felt that we should be, if we're spending our money, we should be demanding some loyalty from the retailer and demanding it in a way that we want it and converting that into something that's emotionally attached to me. So one of the early examples I gave was, I'm a big football fan and I'm a season ticket holder for West Ham. And this is an expensive ticket that I have to buy every year. Everybody complains when they have to buy their season ticket. But if I then had my loyalty card that I was using FreePay to pay, and every time I paid, a merchant gave me some money that went towards my season ticket, then when I got to the end of the year, all of a sudden I've paid 80% or all of my season ticket just by spending at the right retailers. So I could see that was a world that would make the payment transaction better in our world than it is in the other world. You gave me more chicken. I already had chicken 5 times. I don't want more chicken. I already had 12 coffees. I don't want another coffee. What I really need is some money to pay for my season ticket or a charity or something like, or I want to buy XRP or Bitcoin or whatever, right? So I felt that was a great add-on to our payment product. So that's what we built as our second product, to get digital loyalty to be a standard with FreePay. Every time you pay with FreePay, you should be getting something back. So that was number 2. Number 3, I could see that going forward to get a non-crypto native, I mean, we love it, we're in. But to get people, like Simon said, you're not in, you're sitting on the side, how are you going to get in? But all of a sudden, if there was an app where you walk past the pub or you walk past a convenience store and it popped up to say, here's a free beer or here's a free ice cream, all of a sudden, I would engage. And if that meant that you have to get a Web3 wallet, you don't even know that you're using Web3, but there's a reason for you to play the game, And I could see that paper coupons and these things were just things of the past. Why do I want to keep a coupon paper in my wallet for the next 6 months, hoping that I pass a retailer that happens to accept it? Maybe it isn't, the print you can still read. Maybe you can still read the barcode. These are all things of the past, right? Let's fix those. So we built a digital incentive engine to then add on to the loyalty and add on to the payment. So just building that stack where our payment is now better, right? So when you compare what can you do in that world and what you can do in this world, we're already better. And then the last piece of that puzzle was that, when I looked at the wallets that were out there, all of these wallets are really your safety deposit wallets. These are your savings accounts, and people are connecting Visa cards to their savings accounts and then wanting to go and spend them. That's not what we do in real life. We have a savings account and then we have a current account. The current account has a little bit of money in it, and that's our purse, that's our wallet that we use every day in our lives. So I felt like there was a massive gap where we needed a retail wallet that had loyalty and couponing and all these easy out of the box, pick it up from a retailer for $10. It already has your trust lines, already has some stable coin on there, that you're ready to go. So I felt that was a product that we needed. And I also felt that we needed a wallet infrastructure that everybody could use. What's the point of 20 of us building 20 wallets doing individual things? Why don't we just build one wallet that has the core capability, but everyone can then add on and mix and play with that however they see fit, right? So that's what we've been doing for the last year. And so that's the last piece of the puzzle. FreeMe is our wallet. It's called FreeMe. It will be coming out in the next couple of months. And so that will be the first retail wallet that, every guest that comes to Cancun will be getting one of those as a gift from me. But, before that, hopefully it'll even be live before that. But, that now is our mechanism that we can all have on our phones that's controlled by us, that has a specific purpose, and that is to go with us on a daily basis. You leave your big money, so I don't want your risky money on there. Keep that on your Ledger wallets or other wallets that are secure, but always keep a little bit of money in your current account like you do in your regular lives, and that's going to be the free wallet. So the end of this journey really is that, last year we really, me and my CTO, we saw something on Instagram as we were traveling. We were traveling to Mexico, to Miami. And as we were traveling, there was a founder that had sold his company And basically he was saying that it took him 15 years, and all he did over the 15 years was try to protect as much equity as possible. And when he got to the end, he only had 10% of the business left when he exited. The rest of it was owned by VCs and family offices. So that really resonated with me and Nabil, because we were like, so we're going to do all of this and we're going to build a massive business. And the net result of all of this massive new world and new everything is that some VC that's got too much money already is going to be the ultimate beneficiary of everything that we're building. And me and Nabil just went, you know what? No, that's not acceptable. You know, that's just not right.
Yeah.
Why don't the users, you know, like I remember I was an Apple user, one of the first Apple users. I got one of the first phones that didn't even work properly. And I've probably had every Apple phone since. But wouldn't it have been nice that first day with that first iPhone to say, as a first user, here is $100 worth of stock in Apple. And as Apple grows now, you know, you can grow with it. Today, I'd be a millionaire, right? Rather than having one guy that gave him 250 grand and became a trillionaire, you know, why not lots of us join in that benefit, right? Why don't we build it for us, own it for us, and then when it works, we're the ones that get benefit, you know? So I'm adding now tokenization to all of my products, and now they're not my products anymore. Now they're our products, universal tools that we own, that we are going to use, and then the value that creates goes back to us, right? That has to be the standard going forward. And you know, some other founders in this space are probably not going to like me, because you know, if you don't own stock in it, why are you using it is a massive campaign that's coming for us. Because you know, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm a user, I should also be an owner. And if I'm not an owner, why am I a user?
Man, that's I love you. I love you. I love you. I think this is fantastic. This is the way. This is the way, people. Yeah. Just even like Anados Finance, same kind of mindset.
Perfect example. You know, perfect example.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just taking that model now. It's just taking that model now and creating, you know, the hardest challenge now is creating the logic for what that looks like going forward. Because you still need everybody else. You still need, you know, VCs and partners, and it's not as easy as just saying we're going to own it and we're going to do it. We have to grow up. That's not how it works. But you know, I have to just work that plan out, which is what we're doing right now. And over the next few weeks, you're going to see what I think that we should be doing going forward, and hopefully that becomes the standard for any Web3 company that comes to market.
I absolutely love it. I want to be part of this. Whatever this is.
You already are. You already are.
I am World Be Free. You know this. World Be Free is my handle on
Absolutely.
X. And free
well, you've got to change it. We'll be free. And you need to remove the EE and redo that with II now.
I totally should do that. I totally should do that. No, I think this is the way. And we are just stronger together. Right.
Yeah.
And this is
unstoppable.
In my opinion,
not stronger, Melissa. Unstoppable together.
Unstoppable. Exactly. We're the ones that have the eyes to see right now, and it's going to be a chain reaction. You're building the products. You're being selfless in that you want us, and you recognize that we all need to share in that, giving us the opportunity to join the corral, or the corral of people.
We've never been able to do that before, right? That's never been that option has never been on the table. So now that option is on the table, why are we not choosing that option, right? That's, you know, we got to do the right thing. It's like recycling or getting an electric car. These are just the right thing to do. You know, even our slogan now, I'm pushing, you know, live free. It's the right thing to do. That's it. That's our North Star. The North Star is this the right thing to do? Yes, it is. That's what we're going to do. If it's the wrong thing to do, we're out, you know, and using old banks and old mechanisms, that's the wrong thing to do, right? They don't care about us. You know, I've just seen something that says in the last week, more stable coins have been used by banks than ever before last week. Did any of us get any letters, emails from our bank saying that they're now making more money, that they're going to start sharing it with us now? No one's coming, right? So these people are not coming. So now we have the opportunity. It would be wrong for us not to do this. We have to do this. because it's just wrong not to.
Simon, there's 6 minutes before you leave. And
Okay, here we go.
The opportunity to say, you take it from here until you have to
all
go.
right, I'm going to take it from here. So you talked about your app. My question regarding into the app, is that a two-way app, or will there be a two-way feature? Meaning, if I have a family member that loves the pub.
I mean, you can on-ramp. Obviously, you can on-ramp and off-ramp from. Sorry, Simon. Finish.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, so you can on-ramp and you can off-ramp from the old world, but really this is the beginning of what you don't need the old world in your app. You just need to be able to go in and out. So we don't need to be a Revolut and do both things very well. We're going to do Web3 very well. We're going to allow you to come from Web2 in and go back to Web2 because that's what you're going to need to do for a while. But we're going to be the masters of Web3.
Okay, so if I got a virtual Visa card, right? And it's got dollars on it. And I want to pay/send, say XRP to a merchant or platform. Will your app have that ability to do so?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, I want you to pause right now. If you're watching this, rewind and listen to the question that I just asked, because this is a thing that I'm experiencing on other projects where there are platforms that are enabling you to send funds right now, but they will send a crypto to another wallet of your choosing. You're not buying it. It's an exchange, almost like money service provider. But what Ferran has here is you can do it all yourself, and you own the app and get benefits from that. That is part of my bad English. That's brilliant, mate. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
That's just our future now, and it's coming. I mean, I think it's already approved with Apple. I'm just waiting for Google. They've made some changes, so it's taken a little time, but that's going to be here very soon. And again, none of these things are polished and finished. We're on a journey, right? So we're going to start. We're going to learn from the first community that come on. We're going to feedback. Actually, this feature is good or that isn't, and then we're going to grow organically and grow that together, and then white label that up. Start putting, IMU TV. I was talking to Niall just the other day. Things like that should be built into the wallet. Just start. We only need one consumer, and all of us should be able to then give our products and services to them. There's no point having the consumer have to go to all of us individually to start seeing what we're about. There should be one place of truth, and that one place of truth you should be able to customize and do whatever you want to. And that's what we want to try and bring that infrastructure for us to be able to use in any which way that we want.
You
can see why I don't sleep, right? You can see why
I'm glad I waited. Exciting. Oh no, I was reading. I'm like, ooh, this one's gonna be life-changing again.
This is why I'm gonna go back to Santiago. Just thank you, my brother, because that we needed that first showcase. We needed that first, just we are here, and I do not have words to describe how cool it is that you are doing it. Cancun is doing it. The objective of it, it's family orientated. I love the fact that kids are, under 12 are free. This is what life should be like, right? We should be hanging out in beautiful places together, all our families, and building our dreams together, and championed by somebody as cool as you. So, thank you, because if you hadn't have said yes, I would still be trying to convince that first person to go, but now, ever since that we have started, my phone rings continuously, because now they can see the floodgates are open now, right? There's no going back now.
Exactly. And thank you. I will say thank you, because you thank me, but you were the one also trusting Sholo, trusting everything in this process to say, okay, we're going to be part of this. And you've said so many good things about all the loyalty, all the things that you're giving, and all the things that are happening into all. But, for me, when we wanted to do the XRPL Cancun, we had the opportunity to people to pay it with credit card, via Stripe and all of these things. And They were like, but is there is an easy way if we pay you in dollars, or let's change it to Mexican pesos? And I was like, then why am I in Web3? If not, I already have a travel agency. Why am I even in Web3? No, I wanted to do it. I had to put my foot to the ground, and said everyone like, no, I need to receive XRP. Because if not, yeah, I can't receive anything else. But no, I want to be in this ecosystem and we're building this. I need to receive XRP. And you took it and you said, yeah, we can do it. We're going to do it. And it was immediately, we contacted you, you did it. Yeah, let's do it. And it was
Boom.
so fast. Melissa was over there in all the meetings, all of that. And you were like, yeah, let's change it. We did it all with Ticketmob, and like 3 days next, we were open in the sell tickets with XRP and RLUSD. So that is something really amazing. I'm grateful because you supporting us, that opened the door to continue what the initial dream was. So I'm actually thankful.
And now it's become our dream. Now it's no longer your dream anymore. Now it's our dream.
And that's it.
Simon,
because
you gotta
in
go.
XRPL has so much dreams like that. So many people with those dreams. So we're just focusing it in this event, in all of the things that's happening, and this is just the beginning.
Well, gentlemen,
Simon.
thank you for coming on the Dip and Toe Show. Melissa, always thank you so much for bringing these gems, these game changers in this digital asset space. And I literally mean game changers. I look forward to watching this video 20 years from now to see where we're at
Absolutely.
in Web3, because it's going to be, I remember when, as Opti always says, I remember them when. So, gentlemen, have a good night. Melissa, love you.
Thank
Dip
you.
and Toers.
Love you.
I got to go. Think and grow. Dip that toe. Y'all take care.
See you later, Simon.
Bye-bye.
So gosh, what was I just gonna say? I want to give a shout out. I must admit, I want to give a shout out. Kita from Kita's Brew was actually the very first person to purchase a ticket on Sholo's site for XRPL Cancun using FriiWorld. So I can't take
Okay, so
credit
you're
for
going to be
these different-
famous. That is about as famous as it comes.
Yeah. So shout out to Kita. I might have been second or what, but Kita was definitely first. But either way, I'm going down in history. Let's just say that. I'm just gonna say because I was among the first. And like you said, Sholo, it was as soon as he was on board, it was super quick and easy, and we were off to the races. So very exciting. Very exciting. Let's see here. So I do want to get back kind of to FriiWorld. I have some questions about free pay. Now it's my understanding that part of what you do is correct me if I'm wrong. You provide like a simple software update for current merchants that have POS terminals that they can make their terminals ready to receive crypto. Is that true?
Yeah. So look, I've sat in a lot of meetings where there are people that want to solve this Web3 payment problem, doing it without Visa or MasterCard, and their solutions are to provide a new piece of hardware to retailers that does Web3, right? So because they haven't gone through the pain that I went through in the early days, they have no understanding of how difficult it is to deploy a device, get a retailer to sign that device, deploy the device, maintain the device, support the device when it goes wrong, swap the device out if they drop it, if they break it, or it's a pub and somebody spilt their Guinness over it. And, there are so many things, day-to-day things that you have to do to keep a payment network up. Because I understand the pain of that, for me, there was only one way that we were going to solve this, and that was the same way I've solved other things in the past, and that is by going on the existing POS infrastructure that's out there, and being somebody that has been designing that and deploying that for 20 years. I have a a complete understanding of that architecture. So for me, it's very, I wouldn't say it's simple, but the logic is very clear in my mind of how to use the network that already exists. So for me, that's a game changer for us, because it means that when we do want to go and suddenly 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 retailers want to start accepting stable coins, maybe RLUSD or something, they don't have to then be like, right, we need 50,000 devices deployed and maintained. It's literally, they turn it on, we do a download, the device now has a free button on the screen that appears, and then every time somebody wants to pay with Web3, they press the free button and off they go. So that's the only way that I see that we get to scale. Any other way will take too much time, effort, and money, and we'll have niche markets. I'm not saying that we cannot go to some parts of the world and put little networks in place, but as a mainstream, do you want to pay cash? Do you want to pay Visa? Do you want to pay Web3? To have every retailer be able to say that at point of sale, this is the only way to solve that. And that's what I've mandated from the beginning.
I tell you, and then the fact of your history, who better to sell that idea than someone that was at the ground floor of it all happening.
And last year, I just want to make one point, and again, it's okay for me to sit here and say, that's what we're going to do. But, I'm one of those that I like to do it and for everyone to see it happening. And for, it's not a presentation. This is like with Shoutouts. It was not a presentation, right? 3 days after we agreed that the website was going to take XRP, it was taking XRP, right? So the same thing here at Apex, the RLUSD stand at Apex, which is a big Ripple event that showcases all new technology. We were actually on the stand, and the merchandising that was being done was you had to buy a hat using FreePay. And over 2 days, we did over 500 transactions, and every single one went through perfectly. Every transaction was under 3 seconds. So, we're already showing that we have the capabilities today to be able to have something in store and be able to process just like the old guys. So again, something that I'm really proud of, that people, hundreds and hundreds of people came and used it. They enjoyed it. The thing that makes me laugh the most is that one of the things that my CTO has really banged on about is that we must get a receipt from the device the same way as we get a receipt when we pay with Visa or MasterCard. For the consumer, it shouldn't look any different. So he built a Web3 receipt. And the thing at the show that people liked the most was, I'm paying with Web3, but I'm getting this receipt the same way as I do in Web2. And it made me that one little piece of paper just made me feel like this was real. And this was, it wasn't just magical money, it was real money. And it's a receipt that made them feel that way. So it just shows you the consumer psyche, that just that we hate those receipts, and yet those receipts are the things that give us comfort and make us feel like that we've done a successful transaction. So doing it is what I'm about. Talking about it is not what I'm about, right? We have to do it, right? That's why once we decide that we're going to do something, we just don't sleep, don't eat, just get it done. And if we can do that as a collective, can you imagine if we're doing that as a collective, what the output of that would be? Just unbelievable, right?
So on their end, the merchant has to sign up, or they have to be able to receive the crypto, right? Or whatever it is.
Yeah, they've got to sign up. They've got to do terms and conditions.
They got to do that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have to learn a whole new POS system. They can just download this software. They can do an update that includes this FreePay on it, and as long as they have their wallet set up in the background,
and even that, the process of that now is so many merchants that are going to come at the beginning are going to want fiat. Here is an example where somebody is receiving XRP or RLUSD, but most traditional merchants are going to want to get fiat for now. Maybe in time that will change. So actually what we do is all the transactions that come in overnight, we convert them into fiat and we put them into the merchant's bank account the same way as Visa puts in. So they get one reconciliation that says, I did 1,000, Visa owes me 600, Free should be giving me 400. The money doesn't come to us. It's sitting in the merchant wallet, but it just overnight converts from whatever stable coin that is into fiat money. So that the next morning, they just get fiat, right? So we built it all the way through back to fiat again.
So they don't even actually have to have a quote unquote
why should they have
wallet. Yeah, they don't even have to. Because
it's all happening in the background.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Wow. How many different POS systems are there out there? Like, would all of them be able to receive this update?
So I reckon just today alone, I reckon there's over 50 million of them that are sitting there that we can jump on, literally, because the one thing that I'll tell you is that payments is pretty standardized, right? There isn't a million different payment solutions out there. There's probably like, half a dozen that run the whole world, because Visa doesn't want to make or approve 50 different applications. So they try and keep them to the minimum. So, the solutions that are out there are pretty standard. So, and I've gone around the world. In fact, Ripple sent me to Singapore to learn Asia and see if the devices are different in Asia. It's exactly the same as it is here. So the operating systems are the same. The devices are the same. So I reckon that there's probably 50 million and growing. So that's another thing. And the other thing that I also feel, it's a good point to bring up, that I feel like in the future we'll be doing more transactions than we do today. There are micro transactions that we would love to do, but they're just too fiddly and too expensive for us to do. That tomorrow, if I need to, there was an example somebody gave the other day, that I'm passing someone on the road, in the future, I'm passing someone on the road and I'm in a rush and they're going slow, and I can just send them a message, say, move out of the way, and I'm going to give you, 0.1 of an XRP, and my car pays their car as I drive past them. This is the future that's coming. It's going to be that there are so many more new types of payment transactions that are going to come, but they're not going to be able to come using the old rails. So, that's where we really start to accelerate, when we start doing new things that were never done before. But that comes in the future.
So take me. When I bought my ticket, it was actually a barcode or a QR code that I scanned. Right. So you're not specifically saying like someone doesn't have to have a card that has a Visa MasterCard logo on it, because there is this going on where you can get a card that has a Visa MasterCard logo, but it also has your crypto on it. Then you can spend it at wherever. With this, you don't even necessarily need that. It sounds like you just need.
No, we don't want that, because
you don't want it.
We don't want it. Well, firstly, if you're doing it that way, the merchant is paying 10 times more than he's going to pay with us. The Visa's holding that money for 3, 5, 7 days before the merchant gets. How is that helping merchants?
Not helping.
Something else that I'm so passionate about, that if you imagine that you had a chicken burger type shop running as a family business for many years, and all of a sudden down the street McDonald's arrives. All right, a new McDonald's gets born. Now on the street you have to share with McDonald's. Now the first day Visa comes into McDonald's and says, oh, McDonald's, you do so much volume, you're a big customer, you're going to pay a little bit of money for every transaction. Then they go to the independent guy that was already there, and they're like, oh, you're a small guy, McDonald's has nicked half your business. I can see that you might not even be here in the future. I'm going to charge you more. Why are we charging the person that needs the help more and giving benefit back to somebody that's already making so much money? That independent merchant's probably got 3 children working 20 hours a day, and our payment scheme goes and says, let's surcharge you more. Let's penalize you for that. I don't believe in that. So I believe that FreePay should have one price, whether you're McDonald's or you're the independent. Level that financial playing field. We don't care about your volume. We don't care who you are. In Web3, we're all equal. So we all pay the same price. So that's one of those things that I'm really passionate, is that everybody should pay the same. I don't care how much volume you do, which country you come from, you should pay the same as everybody else.
So let me get this straight, and I agree with you 100%. In my mind, I go to the store. Oh, I pick up my things. I go, they ring me up, and it comes up, you owe $150. And then I say, okay. And then I go to their terminal. They've got FreePay. I say, great. I push FreePay. FreePay then is going to produce a QR code that's going to
Yep.
pop up, and then
Yep.
I'm going to go, oh, I got my Zaman wallet here. I open
Or your
my
free
Zaman,
wallet in the future.
or my free wallet in the future. I'm going to scan that QR code.
Yep.
It's easy peasy. I'm going to approve the transaction, and it's going to go through in 3 seconds or less. And then boom, I've paid. I'm going to get a receipt, and the merchant is going to get the cash.
Yeah, that's it. As easy as that. And no one in the middle.
It's not going to cost the merchant, no one in the middle. It's not going to cost
No
the
one in the
merchant
middle.
an arm and a leg like it does
Yeah.
for Visa, MasterCard. You know,
I mean, the merchant is sitting right here. Santiago is the merchant. As soon as you pay, Melissa, how long does it take before your wallet says, I've got the money, right? It's instant.
Nothing. It's instant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super fast. We actually had one problem. I don't remember with who buying their ticket. You know that we had a problem with Ticketmob. They don't not receive the email, and like the web page stopped. But I received the money, so I was like, yeah, you know what? Your ticket is secured. You have your room. I'll find out everything that is the problem in here. I'll fix it. Don't worry. Your ticket is here. You got your booking. So because I received it instantly. So that's amazing. That is something that actually solves so much problems, and more in the travel agency work kind of line. Because imagine you want to travel tomorrow and you want to book your room, and you will send your money, let's say fiat in US dollars, to me. Well, the money in the banking system can take up to 72 hours in business days. So I will not receive the money. I cannot do the booking. So I have two options. One, use my own money to book it for you. And maybe if you don't pay it, I lose the money. Or I don't use it and I lose a customer. But with all of this, it's so instant that there's no problem. I can do it instantly. And that is a game changer. And I know all around the world, not just in these kind of things, in a travel agency, in a lot of businesses, it's game changing. And that's beautiful. I really love it, and that's why I wanted to do all of this in the XRPL. And thank you for FriiWorld for putting this platform to make it so easy also for everyone. I love it.
I got a question in the audience. How is Farhan connected to Merch Mob, Ticket Mob? We've been talking a little bit about that.
Yeah.
How did
so they're community members that, like I said, I've been here a while now. It feels like I've, I don't know. In England, we sometimes refer to things in dog years, which is like 6 or 8 of a regular year. So it feels like, the 5 years that I've been here, it feels like 40 years, because, we've done so much, and I've met so many people and so many builders. And at the beginning, it was a space where the builders were just, it was a dark, lonely place, right? If you were a builder in Web3 5 years ago. So, in that time, I've made so many friends, and I have such a respect for people that have been here for years, and when nobody else sees them building, nobody's giving them money, nobody's believing in them, but they're still continuing. And Ticket Mob and Merch Mob, these are just examples of builders that, now they not only have my full attention, they have my full support, and anything that I can do to help them, is really what I'm about. But it's not just them. It's anyone in the space, anyone that I see in the space that really is trying hard to get forward. We should be helping them. We should be connecting them, and that's something that, Ticket Mob is a perfect example, because look, we had the dream, they had the vision, we finished the tech, now we have a customer, we have consumers, we're making headlines. So, we just got to rinse and repeat that over and over again, just supporting
Wandering Home.directory. That's my that's my next push. Oh, I love it. I love this whole thing. This has been my vision from since I've been in it. My hope, my optimistic thought process, where we're going with all of this, the whole free world concept. I believe in it. I believe it, and I see it, and you've built it. And it's just, I just love it so much.
Thank you.
I am particularly interested in learning more about those loyalty and coupon features that you have. In, you know, how exactly is that going to work? Because I love the concept of being able to spend it and get those rewards back, and say if I choose I would like to get XRP or I'd like to get whatever back. How exactly does that work?
Yeah, so you as the consumer in your wallet, you're going to now say, you know, when I get rewarded, I'm going to, you know, put it to, so it's an option in the wallet for you to pick where you want your reward to go, and then you can change that however much. You know, if you're spending a lot of money and the reward is coming, you might put it towards, you know, a ticket for a holiday or something, or you know, or against your season ticket. If it's a small thing, you might want to give it as a charity donation. So you have that control, and then we just build that logic into the payment transaction where the merchant is able to say, because this is another thing that I see, especially merchants in the physical world, you know, on a Monday, their doors are open, they have no one in. And, you know, and I feel like saying, well, today, if you just gave a 50% offer, your restaurant would be full and you have an opportunity to build some new customers, but you'd rather have no one in the store because you don't want to give 50% away, right? So it's just getting the mentality of merchants to say, you know, marketing is something that they need to use and be good at to bring this next generation of customer in. And what this really does is gives merchants the ability to say, Melissa, today I'm giving you 5, tomorrow I'm giving you 10, you know, for an hour on Thursday, a special hour for VIPs, and I'm going to give you 30, and just have an ability to talk to you in a way that you're receptive, and then to give you something that's emotional. So that's all built into our platform. And on the couponing, one of the vision I have is no matter where you land in the world, just like we have a Google Maps, we're going to have a free map. And that free map is going to be all the things around you, all the retailers or brands that are within 1 square mile of you that want your attention. And then you can decide, you know, whether you want to engage or not, but the option is there. So even if I land in Cancun, I open my free app, all the retailers that are around me in Cancun, that Cholo's already got us, giving us offers, already taking payments in the future, will already be connected to me, and I'll be able to see them as I roam. You know, so
so you'll know that they take free pay.
Yeah, because your map's going to tell you as soon as you turn it on, it's going to look around and say these places accept free for digital payments, and these guys are giving you free ice cream. There's some free pizza over here, because that's the world, right? Attract me, and I'm going to come to your space. If you don't attract me, I'm going to go somewhere else, right? That's what when you look at some of these big companies and why they're successful, is they have marketing teams doing this every single day, right? But when you're a small business, you don't even understand this. It's not your fault. Just it's not something that you've been taught. So, you know, somebody needs to come in and give them a solution. So why not, as we upgrade payment now, we make it better for the merchant? Why not give them a mechanism that's better than the old mechanism? Because some of those old mechanisms are still print this email, print this voucher, and hold it. You know, it's still yesterday's tech, right?
They don't even need it. You know, this is the other thing. So we didn't use a POS terminal when I bought my ticket through XRPL Cancun.com. So I was thinking, even like landlords, for example, they could hook up with you, right?
Everyone.
Anybody. And so like, hey, you could get your landlord, get on free pay, scan the QR code, go through, pay your rent, and get that little kickback, and then your landlord is happy because they got their money instantaneously. Boom. Absolutely. And maybe because you use free pay, they're giving you a 2%, 3% discount, whatever, doesn't matter. And at the end of the year, you got a little chunk of money saved up, you know, whatever. I mean, like, it's genius, honestly. And it was so easy. And here's the thing. You're not a bank. You're not holding the money. You don't even have to have those licenses and stuff for being a bank, right?
I mean, we have to be realistic. No, we have to be realistic because, you know, I've just gone through the FCA process in the UK. I was lucky to be invited by the government to speak on behalf of Web3 and showcase a non traditional model. And, you know, there was 20 people that presented and 19 of them were making banks efficient. So just putting the blockchain in between a bank and then user, bank, and then the blockchain in the middle. And I got up at the end, I think I was 16 or 17 on the roster. And I got up and said, remove and all the banks were in the room. And I'm like, remove these people from, I don't understand why these people are in the middle. If I can send money from A to B without you, why would I choose to have you in my space, right? So part of that process now is saying to the government, look, we are different. We are a non-custodial wallet. We are looking after our own money. You know, that sits outside of all the laws. And at the same time, we can't be serious unless we have a stamp from the government to say that what we're doing is correct, right? So she actually laughed because I'm one of those people that's forcing the government to make me regulated, even though we don't need to be regulated because we're non-custodial. So she's like, no one has ever asked to be in. Usually people are like, I'm outside of scope and I don't need to be regulated. You're outside of scope, but you want to be inside. So, you know, it's for me, I think that we need those government stamps to be that next level, to be somebody that everyone can trust and depend on. I think we're going to need those going forward. So even though we don't need them by the law, we're going to need them for respect in the community, I feel.
Well, not only that is, you don't want to get so far down the road and then have them decide they're going to make a law and make it not, you know,
100%.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And that was very bold of you to go in a room.
But I think that's what we have to be now.
Fellas.
I put my diagram up and literally it was nobody in the middle, right? It was just the XRPL. I was like, this is our bank, this is our switch, this, you know, our FA, everything is done right here. Why do we need you guys? You know, so we don't need them. You know, we don't, and even the regulators quite like the fact, maybe not openly, but you know, it was a 4 or 5 day or 4 days we were together, and sometimes on downtime they would say, we want competition, we don't want monopolies like Visa or MasterCard, we don't want the banks to be able to, you know, I shared with them in Singapore, I bought a Red Bull, I was doing a speech and we'd been out late that night and it was an early morning one, so I bought a Red Bull on the way and the Red Bull was $1. When I got back to the UK, I looked at what that cost me. You know, it cost me more in transaction fees. My bank charged me like 60 cents for that transaction, plus the FX. So I actually paid more in fees than I did to buy the Red Bull. You know, and as a regulator, as a government, you're allowing this to happen and you can't stop it, which means we have to stop using it, right? If you can't stop it, then we as a people, as a community have to stop it, right? Yeah. Because they're not going to stop that happening because it's happening right now.
Man, so with all of this happening and that, did you get any feeling of pushback from them, or like, oh, you're gonna get in trouble, disbelief of like, how can you be doing that? You must surely be breaking some kind of rule with what you've created, with what you're.
I think the belief bit now, since last year, the RLUSD, when we did that show, I mean, I think we have a tweet that was put out. I think it got 70 or 80,000 views. You know, it's undeniable now, right? And it shows the best of what the XRPL has to offer. So it is undisputable. You don't need to, you know, if you look at my code and you look at what we're doing and you understand the XRPL, none of those questions are questions anymore, right? Because that's what the XRPL, that's why it's so beautiful. That's why we're so lucky that we have it. It's because it solves all of those things for us and no one can dispute it.
This is the beauty of the XRP Ledger.
Absolutely.
And you are someone, like, I say it all the time, but I'm not a builder, I'm not a coder. But I always say, like, just listening to all of you guys, I see the opportunities. These are tools that have been gifted to us, is how I look at it. And Absolutely. Those with the eyes to see and the courage to try and the, you know, the spirit to build, you're creating something that we can use to fight back
Yeah,
in a
and we don't mind failing,
non-aggressive way.
and we
Yeah.
don't mind. I don't have an issue in failing. I actually believe that if something goes wrong, you've learned that that went wrong, and you're not going to make that mistake again. And every time that happens, you just get better and better and better and better. So that we've just been on that journey. That even if things go wrong, they never scare me. I never get upset with that. I'm like, brilliant. We learned that today. It's better that we learned that today than we learned that 6 months from now or a year from now. So, the fact that we don't take anything personal. It's just growth for all of us because we're all learning, including me. That, it's a unique way to attack a problem, right? Where whatever happens, don't worry. We're going to figure out a way to fix that so that it doesn't happen again.
I love it. One final question about this is that I want to turn and have Santiago tell us about XRPL Cancun, but I am curious about the feedback that you're getting from merchants so far. I know you've run some tests, or is Santiago the maiden voyage?
So Santiago was the first official Web3 XRPL customer. You guys have done the first transactions. Now we've done POCs. We are.
Uh-oh. He'll come back.
I think we lost him.
I think he'll be back.
Santiago is the. Are we back?
Yeah,
we're back.
Yep, there he is.
But Santiago is the first one that is our first live customer. And, like I said, I waited for regulation. RLUSD is now regulated. It's going to be regulated even more now going forward, which means we're free to use it. So that's why this was the perfect timing. But this is history. What we're doing right here, right now is history.
History, and you saw it here on the Dipito Show. Let's go. Oh, Santiago, I would love for you to dive into the XRPL Cancun event. Can you paint the picture for our audience? What exactly do you have planned for this wonderful event that's happening in August?
Oh, of course. XRPL Cancun is going to be such an amazing event because it's going to be unique. Every event, you have these speakers talking about XRP. People that don't know about XRP, don't know about the ecosystem, don't know about the crypto, they will learn a lot, of course. People that already know about it will know and get a lot of connections, of course. But in here, we're going to have a moment also of peace, a moment of connection building, and to be with everyone else, because I know that people that went to XRP Vegas or that has come to other events of XRP, you go to the event, the conference, you see the speakers, and then you have to move to other place, go take an Uber, go to another hotel, to go to a bar, go to a restaurant, move all around, and you keep spending, tiring. And you know what? You cannot talk all about the time because you lost about 1 hour just traveling all around the place. But in here, we're gonna have 5 days and 4 nights just to be with the community, to talk, to spend the time as we wanted to. Of course, there will be the conference with speakers. We'll have the beach club with a stage at the beach with the music of XRPL. We're gonna have the conference halls with NFT arts exhibitions and auctions. We're gonna have so much entertainment with the XRPL community. But the real deal in here is to come to paradise, relax, and be with the community, with your family, friends, and everyone in the community, just to build, just to connect, and just to learn all about this. You were talking about how all the community is starting to get in, how is getting to be in the future. But for me, for example, I see so much opportunity in everything, and I said it at the beginning. Coming here into Cancun, into XRPL Cancun, it will open so much doors. For example, with Kita's Brews, every guest is gonna receive a beef tallow Kita brew that is gonna be so amazing. But imagine that we're getting the connection into the hotel, that Kita is going to go with them and tell them, I do these products and you can have them to offer them to your customers for every single guest. And we're talking about in a hotel that has 1,623 rooms. So imagine every single day, 1,623 rooms times two because the rooms are for two people. Now, this opportunity also comes for example, free pay to come over there and to talk with the hotel to make it around to now accept crypto, because I've talked to them about the NFTs for their reception, for the bookings, to do your check-in, for receiving payments. And maybe I'm not that smart enough, but the more people come and talk about this, the hotel will say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And the more I talk to them, the more I go with all of this, they say, yes, I want to do this. So for the XRPL Cancun, we have this amazing resort, which is the Grand Oasis Cancun. Every single room has a balcony, so that is something real important. And I know someone like my friend Stone is a requirement. You need a balcony, right? So every single room has a balcony. And we have, of course, the two categories, the Grand Oasis Cancun and the Pyramid Cancun, which is the upgraded version. And in the Pyramid, we have the Junior Suite and the Master Suite, which Melissa is going to have the Master Suite with a plunge pool, which is, you saw it. It's
I'm so
amazing.
excited. I've never seen
The
a room that
view.
nice.
The view, the ocean, it's such an amazing room. But this hotel is such a big hotel because it's not a hotel that has, like 30 floors. No, it is just like 10 maybe, but it is wide. It is like 1 kilometer wide, but it has a 400-meter pool. It has such an amazing rooms, such amazing amenities, 33 restaurants and bars. It has so much activities, and the beach club is like that pinnacle that when people see the stage, it's such a great opportunity. Over here, we are using the platform as you are showing, the Ticket Mov, which is the one that we are using for the tickets,
Sorry.
so you can buy it to get it smooth. But right there, when you're gonna pay, you're gonna use free pay. It's the platform that it makes it so easy, so that you can pay with your XRP, with your RLUSD, and with that you get your all-inclusive hotel, 5 days, 4 nights, meals, drinks included. Also, your grand transportations from the whole airport to the hotel to the airport, and of course, you're gonna get all the activities into the XRPL. We are also offering the tour to Chichen Itza, which is one of the seven wonders of the world. It's really amazing. It's a must if you come to Cancun. But of course, it is going to be beyond everything that we're gonna be expecting, because we are just gonna be over here with all the community all together, talking of each other. I know that with Farhan, I've not talked personally all about with as a business with Sholo. We've talked about XRPL Cancun and what we're doing and the future. But of course, in the future, and we've not talked, but I do see the future when you look into Sholo to create a vacation because you want to go to Paris. Well, of course, you're gonna log in. You're gonna get a wallet from FreePay, and with that, you're gonna pay your travels wherever you want to go all around the world. And it is amazing because with Free World, you get in your platform with FreePay to pay not only with XRP but also with the XRPL tokens that exist over there. So with that, I know that they will help us because every single booking that you do with Sholo, you get a 1% cash back in the Sholo token. And I know that with that, you are going to be receiving your wallet. They're going to be helping you at acquiring your trust line with Sholo. When you buy, you're going to receive your 1% back in cash back in Sholo. So easy. It is part of the future. It is part of everything that is going to be in the whole ecosystem. And this is just Sholo. There are so much more things that are going to be happening over there. But in the XRPL Cancun, this connection, all the things that are going to happen, all the things that are going to happen in the hotel, as I'm telling you, just to connect to the hotel and saying, we did pay with XRP. You should accept XRP. You should accept it. And how? Here's the platform. Just do it. It's so easy, And that's just one hotel. We got a lot in here in Cancun, and that is just Cancun. Imagine all Mexico, and then imagine all the world, because the tourist market cap is around $13 trillion yearly, and it is said to be in 2030 in about $35 trillion. So imagine all that market starting to get into the ecosystem, into the XRPL. And as we were saying, we have to get people into using the XRP, and not just to, because as in for me, I have to receive it in XRP and I have to transform it into the Mexican pesos. But what if the hotel receive XRP? That's the future. That's what we are aiming.
That's what I
That's what
want.
we want to do. And that's the idea, and that's what we're aiming for the future. And I know that's why we're here. We're building that, but we are showing everyone how it's done and how it's being possible. And of course, we're gonna have a lot of mistakes and bumps around the all the things that we do, but we're setting the steps to getting the best experience for everyone. And with XRPL Cancun, I know that we're gonna showcase such an amazing event. We're the first one using only XRP and RLUSD to book your tickets, and that is so huge. That is something that I cannot stress out how huge that is. And that's just the beginning. That's just the first. You know, that's amazing. I'm
All these XRP events should be accepting XRP as payment.
absolutely.
And it's and so to be the first event to actually do it, I mean, because why? You got to have courage to go outside of the box, right? Outside of the norm. Some people they're like, oh, I don't know. A lot of people won't do it, but this is for the XRP family. And you want to talk a little bit about who this event is for? I mean, it's mainly for XRPL holders, right? Who else do you see joining us at XRPL Cancun?
Of course, it's for the community. It's a event being done by the community for the community. But my target here in Mexico, we do not have a lot of people that has a knowledge of crypto, and yet alone for XRP. I do see it with my family, friends, a lot of the community that I do know, businesses, and they are so afraid of it, of being involved of it. They see it as a risk. And I talk like, is it a risk for you to receive money and exchange it to your fiat? Is there's no risk. I mean, what's the risk is that you do not receive the money, but if you receive
Exactly.
it, that's not the risk. So I try, and I really try to get the people to learn about it, but it's hard. I mean, people is getting stuck about it. But with this kind of events, we bring those kind of people. So of course, I do expect a lot of people that I am telling about, that I'm bringing about, other businesses that have the opportunity to just to get to learn how they can bring their business into Web3, how they can bring what they are actually doing into crypto. And other people that maybe they have money and they want to invest, but not only invest, but to use the money different, to to say like, I don't want to pay with PayPal so much money because their fees are so high. So how do I change that? So you can use crypto. And that's the idea, of the people that I want to bring also in here in the Mexican community over here, that want to learn about the crypto, want to learn about the future. Because a lot of people is like in denial, like, nah, crypto is not gonna be there. But it happened with the internet, with emails. How am I going to send an email? Everyone is going to read it. I trust
No
my
one's
my
gonna
guy,
do that.
I trust my email guy. How is it? My not email,
Mailman.
my mailman. Yeah, and then how am I going to pay in the internet? They're gonna take my data of my credit card, and now we all do e-commerce. It's evolving, and we're in the phase of denial, but it's going to change. Everyone is going to end up using this, and I will say, in diapers. We're just starting, of course, but this is a great opportunity for all businessmen.
We
and,
might be in
and
onesies by now.
yeah, but we're growing, and that's the idea.
Pull-ups.
Because
We're in pull-ups.
we're wearing pull-ups. Yeah. Now we can swim. And I see with my baby, sometimes it feels such a long time for a change to happen. But when the change happens, you're all like, man, it was fast. It happened so fast. And
Goes by
it's
so
the same in
fast.
here. I see everyone saying like, no, crypto is not gonna happen. No, how to pay? But we're doing the event. We're doing so much things, and yeah, we spent maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 years to happen. But after that, we will say like 4 years was like that because now we have 20 years of building this, and that's the future that we're now building. We are building whatever we are doing right now is not for now, it's for the future we're having.
Exactly.
And for me, for my family, for my future of my family, not for me, it's I'm not working for today, I'm working for 5, 10 years ahead. And that's the thing that I believe in the XRPL community we are all aiming to. And with these kind of events, with the people coming around, is just to get them the heads up of what is happening. I had the opportunity to go over here into an AI conference in Cancun that was the biggest in Cancun, and a lot of people came in here, and it was really cool. But you know, I'm as I said, I studied business management. I know a coder. I do not know all about all of this, but I have to use all these elements. I have to learn all about it. And I went to the conference and was like, man, I know more than most of the people in here that are speaking. And why is that? Because I'm here in crypto. I'm here in this community. I'm building so much, and I'm learning from so much people, like in coffee and crypto, in corn sprouts, in Dipito. I'm learning so much things that so those guys that are starting and a lot and going to the university and doing all of this, and I'm like, I think I know a little bit more than you, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that we're learning in different ways, but we have to connect all of this, and we have to get all of the people learning all the things that are happening, because the future is coming closer and closer, and it's exponential. I mean, we're getting super fast now into what the future is going to be. And I know that with XRPL, with Free World, all the things that we're doing, Dipito being in XRPL Cancun, this is going to be game changer. This is going to be an amazing change in the point of view of so many people in how the events will be doing. And I know Ripple does know about XRPL Cancun and will be probably coming, but when they see the event, when they see everything in here, they will be like, wow, why do not do the Ripple Soul in Cancun now? why
Absolutely.
why New York? Let's do it in Cancun because we have everything over there. You will see.
Absolutely.
I was just having it's got a pop up, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening with my stream. What I wanted to say was 20 years ago, maybe 23 years ago, I was brought a cell phone, and I'm like, I do not need a cell phone. I don't want a cell phone. I'm never going to use a cell phone. Now I have like 5 cell phones that I'm using for all different types of things. And look where I'm at. Look what I'm doing.
I touched on that earlier. Technology always wins the race. It can never lose, because us as humans, we always navigate to the best technology.
Exactly.
It's never not been that way.
It's not been that way. When I was like 17 years old, I play guitar, and I was starting to do so YouTube videos, and was like, nah, this is not for me. I'm not gonna be doing that. And you saw people getting so much millionaire in YouTube, and you were like, why? That's not possible. But you see how many people does see YouTube. I mean, you see the soap operas people, having 100,000 people looking at a show. But then you see a YouTube that has millions of views.
Yeah.
That's why they are getting millionaire. And that's the idea, because when I was doing the YouTube, I was like, nah, this is not going to be. Why? How am I going to be doing this? No, I'm not going to do it. But you have to get into the technology to get into the new world. And now it's getting harder, of course, to be in YouTube and everything, because it's getting started. But we're in that stage in crypto, in Web3, that we're just beginning, and feels so hard. Feels like a long way. But we are in that stage that we're gonna just blow. And
Susan Rollins says it's amazing. I feel like I'm living in the future. We are living in the future. We are in the future. Farhan, how does it make you feel to be part of this XRPL Cancun event. Just having
It's everything. It's you know it's been in the team. Obviously knows what's coming. So whenever we spend time together as the free team, we know what's coming and we're excited. But I'm telling you, the feeling that we get when others are excited, like I'm saying at that event in the Apex event when we did those transactions for RLUSD, seeing people's faces just change, just that, there is nothing more valuable than that, right? Just making people think about things differently, think about things that are better for them, creating a world together that's better for all of us, for our children, for the next generations. I mean, what could be better than that? There is no better time, that I've been, alive, or a project that I've done where I've been as excited as this, because the impact of what we're doing now is so dramatic. It's going to change people's lives. And I mean, that's really the legacy that we all need to leave behind, right? Is that we change the world for the better, right? Whether it was a payment or a loyalty or a coupon, none of that matters. What matters is that we changed it for the better going forward, right? And that's what drives me. And especially I want to put a shout out to Stone. That coffee in crypto is more important than he even realizes. He's one of those ambassadors that we're glad. I'm so glad that he's part of our community, our family, because it's people like that have been championing every day for years and years, to get to the stage now where we are able to have these conversations. So, nothing better than community right now. And knowing that we're only going to get stronger. We're only going to get more powerful. We're only going to get more demanding. All of this is to come. And imagine what the feeling is going to be like when we're there, right? I'm already beginning to feel that now.
So exciting. If someone wants to help, how can we help? How can we help spread the word? How can we help?
So I think over the next, the website going live and sharing. So we have 3-4 websites to put live. There's a FriiWorld one, then the free pay one, then the free me one, and then the free B one, which is the incentive program. So, we're going through that process now just to get our message articulated in the way that we want. And that will then be, as soon as that's live, anything that we can do to show the world, there'll be a place there where you can just register your interest. It just means that tomorrow, whenever we turn on the stuff that we're going to turn on, you will be the first people that are allowed to play the game because you were the first people to register. So that's great, because what I do is I take that data, and then when I sit in front of the Ripples of the world or the regulators or anybody, that I put, here we go, here is 50,000 people that are ready to play the game. Now suddenly that becomes quantifiable, and together with that, then it opens more doors for us. So that's the process for us. Get our websites live, get that app on Google, get us all registering so that we become a community that signs up for this new future. And then we just get to Cancun and start setting, what our next 12 months from Cancun to the following Cancun is going to look like.
I love it. Yeah, guys, go to FriiWorld.com, check that out, and put your interest in, be amongst the first. I mean, we are the beta testers of all of this.
Yeah, just register now. It will just mean that you'll never be forgotten in this journey. Like we said, we can't open it for everyone. At some point, you have to close the door. But just register that interest. It's a 2 thing. One, it just gets you connected on our database, so you're there with us forever as one of the earliest adopters. And 2, we use that data to show that it's not just me that's saying that there is this community that's with me and we want to do these things. There is data to prove that, right? So just go on, register, put your email, and forget about that, and just get as many people to do that as possible. The more people that do that, the more power it creates for us, and the more people that will be in this first wave of this new bits that we're going to do with ownership.
I cannot wait. I love it. I love everything that you're building. It's very exciting. Just even the prospect of just the average person with the POS terminal can update it and start accepting it. And they don't really have to do anything other than do the update. They're going to get their money. That is the biggest, most powerful thing that I've heard in this space. because like you say, you're building on the existing rails of what's already accepted, uh, and you probably won't get as much pushback as you would. Like I've heard, when I first got into Bitcoin, there were people that were creating these terminals, and then
Yeah.
there was a possibility of becoming a salesperson and going around and trying to get businesses onboarded with this system, which is fantastic. I thought it was a great idea at the time. However, you've got two systems then.
Absolutely.
And being able to just update one is just great, just a great um, opportunity for any real new business, old business, to update in a quick fashion. So
And absolutely, and in time, that strategy hopefully will give us scale, because we this is not just for one event or one country or one town. It's something that we want to do everywhere, and so that strategy helps us get to everywhere very quickly once we decide that we're ready to go. So yeah, really, really, really excited. I mean, it's just so exciting. It's hard to sleep right now.
I love it. Sholo, how do what do you want to say? How do people reach out? I've already put it up there, but I want you to tell them they need to buy their tickets
They
today.
need
And
to.
why do they need to do that, Sholo?
Well, of course, first of all, if you want to have a booth, you have to get your ticket. If you want to be a speaker, if you want to be playing at the stage, you need to have a ticket. But of course, you need to use your zip code to get a 3% discount. And of course, they need to get it now, because you will get a partial view or ocean view at the beginning. And you're going to be getting so much more things in here, because you're going to get Akita's brewed beef tallow. You're going to get a 30-ounce these tumbler cups for your drinks, instead of having those small plastic cups. So you need to have your tickets to get all those props. And of course, I had to run a little bit away fast, because I saw a lot of the comments saying that they wanted me to play a little guitar.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
let's
yeah,
go. All right.
absolutely.
I will
Uh,
I will let you play us out. How's that? Um
uh, for sure, I'm working into more guitar stuff for songs for the XRPL Cancun. I'm not gonna sing because I'm not a singer, but I will show you how the guitar stuff is going on. So maybe someone can think about the lyric and help me out with the song.
Okay. All right. I love that. Um, guys, I want to thank everybody who came in tonight. If you please join us in the After Dark space at 10:10 on X. I definitely want to thank you both so much. We've covered so much ground tonight, from 20 years of POS innovation to real crypto at the checkout, and one of the most exciting XRPL events of the year. Farhan, thank you for breaking down Free World and showing us how merchants can actually start accepting crypto XRP, particularly today. And Santiago, thank you so much for painting such a vivid picture of XRPL Cancun. It's going to be a must attend event. To our listeners, check out Free World and head over to xrplcancun.com to book your tickets. And don't forget to use Dipito's code for 3% off when you use the code DIP. And with that, it's been an incredible episode, and we'll see you guys all next week. And take us away, Shoto. He's got it. You're muted. Darn it. There
Sorry.
you go. No worries.
I hope you can see it, because the background messes up a little bit, but the music will go a little bit like this.
I cannot hear it.
Oh, that is sad.
That is so sad. That is
Maybe
so
it will be a song
sad.
for the after.
You'll have to come to the after space, the after dark space, and play it for us. Huh?
You know what? And I'm also gonna try to play a little bit over there for the oud. You know this.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Nope. I don't know why. That's so weird.
Oh, so weird, so weird. I wanted to showcase it in Dipito, but no worries. It will be in the
Doggone
after. Still
Maybe
got it.
maybe the after space. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Farhan, I appreciate you coming. I look forward to future conversations.
No, and thank you very much for inviting us. You know, like I said, this is a team sport now, and you're part of the team. You know, you're as important as everybody else in delivering our message to, you know, our current community members and future community members. So thank you. You know, just you're going to have to work hard, just like we all are now, to get this message out. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it as a team, and we really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, we love you guys. We will see you in the after space. Be there, be square. See you next week on Dipito Show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Thank you so much.
Welcome and hello. Let's chat about the things that we'd like to know. With Simon and Melissa, you feel right at home. Talking crypto, maybe you should just dip your toes. You laugh and you love where the community grows. On the Dipito Show.